In this lesson, we're going to be talking about quadratic solutions. In other words, we're going to be talking about how many solutions does a quadratic have and how you can tell how many solutions it would have. And then we're going to start to segue into something called imaginary numbers, which I'm sure you're going to love a ton. So let's just start by, how can you tell if there are 0, 1, or 2 solutions for a quadratic? Well, really, you got to ask yourself, what is that even asking? What would make a solution? So let's just kind of think this through. Let's be smart about it. If we have a coordinate plane just like we have right here, and we want to find the solutions to a quadratic equation, there are 3 things that could happen to a quadratic equation when you graph it. You could graph it like this. Remember, the solutions are, where does it cross the x-axis? Well, here it crosses over here and here. So this one could have 2 solutions, right? So that's one thing that could happen. You could have another thing that could happen is this. You could have it go down and then boop, touch it. In this situation, you have one solution. One solution, okay? And the other thing that could happen is the graph could be something like this. And in this situation, it never crosses over this x-axis. It never crosses it. Therefore, this situation has 0 solutions. Okay? So how can you just look, or how can you figure this out really simple or fairly easily without graphing the function? Well, here's how you do it. You just look at the discriminant, which is the b squared minus 4ac part. You just look at the discriminant. You don't care about anything else in the quadratic form. You don't care about this. You don't care about this. You don't care about the square root. That doesn't. You just look at the b squared minus 4. Let me highlight it. You just care about this. That's the important part. That will tell you if there are 0, 1, or 2 solutions. And here's how. Okay? So let's just read on, keep on reading here. Just look at the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, part of the quadratic formula. If it is positive, if you put your values in, and this turns out to be positive, there are going to be 2 solutions. Okay? You know that, if it's positive. Okay? If it equals 0, if this discriminant is equal to 0, then there is one real solution. Okay? And notice it equals 0, so there's one solution. The first one, if it's positive, there's 2 solutions. And if it is negative, if you have a negative here, can you take the square root of a negative number? No, you can't do that. Therefore, there are no real solutions. And I highlighted real. I didn't really highlight it, but I'm doing it right now, because we're going to be talking about something called imaginary solutions. And that's what happens when this right here is negative. A negative. Let's just put that negative like that. Okay? So we're going to use this idea right here in the next section of figuring out how many solutions do the following quadratic equations have. Let's do it. Let's give it a shot. No. Let's do it in the next video. Let's make another video for this one. I think that's a good idea.